Hi, you guys. My name is Coach Kim Jones, and I'm a new hire at South Mountain Community College. I just moved here from Los Angeles back in February. Very excited to be part of the community. And I'm part time adjunct faculty. I help with what's going to help with the fitness center supervision, but still providing content for our Instagram to help with home workouts and different types of cardio prescriptions online, training concepts. And I'm also going to be assisting with the wellness committee on campus as well. And so this is part of my attempt to create some lunch and learn content in very small doses. The goal is to keep videos about 5 minutes or under. And this first video is going to be about decreasing toxic loads. It'll be in the toxic load series, video one. I'll just be talking about one pretty toxic chemical, and I'll continue to pump out these videos weekly, but I'll cycle through different topics. Now, when it comes to us being kind of quarantined, having to stay at home because of the COVID-19 situation, we've got to make sure that we're keeping our immune systems boosted and we're not suppressing them. And so what we expose ourselves to in regards to environmental stress is crucial. The toxic home transformation, I'll put this link in the show notes, changed my life 2 years ago. Watch this online summit. It's about maybe 5 or 6 interviews with different experts in the field that were interviewed 5 days in a row, different experts, and had no clue how much I was exposing myself to different types of toxins within my own home. So highly recommend that if it's still available. May not be free at this point, but it should still be available. And if we look at this list, it's jarring. I could even put more on here, but look at what people use every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, that contain very harmful chemicals. In my opinion, microwaves are probably the most obvious that people would associate with toxicity. And there's different types of microwaves that are being emitted through EMF or electromagnetic frequency. So that's where the blue light and smart devices come in. These are actually blue blockers to help from the blue light emitting into my eyes and impacting my retina. But when I look at some of these things, like the soap, deodorant, lotion, toothpaste, how often do we use that stuff every day? Now, the things that probably don't get recognized as being potential triggers for stress: mattresses. So memory foam is something that you should look into. When it comes to coats, anything that's water repellent is going to be bad news in regards to what it takes chemically to create that type of function for what we wear. Perfume, anything that's got fragrance, if it's got fragrance in the ingredient list, that's not a good thing. Different types of candles can be toxic as well. So just take a look at this list, take it in, and just kind of look around your environment and just think, wow, what have I not been realizing could be potentially harming my health? So what is your overall toxic load? It's going to include different categories of what you can potentially expose yourself to just within your own home, let alone what you're exposed to outside of your home. There's personal care products, which probably is the most prevalent because we use them so often. There's cookware, it's another beast. And I would say also within cookware would be Tupperware, what we actually store our food in, cleaning products, and then you've got your electronics as well. So I'm working on sticking to 5 minutes. So I'm going to go to the next slide and talk about phthalates. Very toxic chemicals, folks. They can be absorbed through the air or the skin. I'm just reading some notes here. There's a 2003 study published in the Environmental Health Perspective that suggests that environmental levels of phthalates are associated with altered DNA integrity in human sperm. There's a 2005 scientific review published in the Occupational and Environmental Medicine journal that evaluated many animals and human studies that were associated with the exposure to phthalates and reproductive development. And so you'll see on the slide here, obviously there's some reproductive type of harm that can be developed through this type of exposure. It's also been linked to liver cancer as well. You'll see the early onset of puberty, and it impacts sperm production in men as well. Where can you find them? There's a list here below. I think the most obvious, or I would say the most prevalent, are going to be your cosmetics. They're going to be your household cleaners and different types of solutions that you typically have at your house. Plastics, very common. Phthalates are actually what I've heard them be called, phthalates or phthalates. That's how you spell it. The pronunciation I'm still unsure of, but they are what allow plastics to be flexible. So any type of plastic is going to potentially have phthalates, but there is a caveat, and I wanted to make sure that I had this in here for you guys. Some action steps. One, you want to switch from plasticware, Tupperware to glassware. That's going to be very helpful. If you are still making that transition because it is more expensive to go from glass to plastic, know that when it comes to those recycling codes on the plastic, codes 1, 2, or 5 don't contain phthalate. So if it's got any other numbers, know that it's not phthalate free. And I wanted to say that this is very common in food storage containers. So when you go out to eat and you get takeout, a lot of those containers that are storing your food have phthalates in them. So that's another red flag that you want to look out for. Okay, so that was short and sweet. That's the concept for all these videos. Just get you a little bit of give you a little bit of dose of some very helpful tips in these lunch and learns. This was episode 1 in decreasing toxic load series. I'll mix it up and give you different types of content within my weekly lunch and learns. Hope you enjoyed this, and everybody stay safe and take this time while we are quarantined to really look around, educate yourself, and see what kind of action steps you can take to help keep your immune system boosted and keep your family safe.